You know, folks, the whole world is talking about Bitcoin. Want to know why? Maybe it's because Bitcoin rose in value over 150% last year, and this is just the beginning. Bitcoin is online investing that anyone can do. Visit bitcoinuniversity.org today. Take a master class. Download the Book of Bitcoin and take your investment portfolio to the next level. Visit bitcoinuniversity.org and discover all that a Bitcoin can do for you. That's bitcoinuniversity.org, bitcoinuniversity.org.
This is the Janine Pirro Show. Now, here's Judge Janine Pirro.
Welcome back to the Judge Janine Tunnel to Towers Foundation Show. Joining us now is our good friend Hogan Gidley, National Press Secretary to the Trump 2020 election. And please join me in welcoming Hogan to the Judge Janine Tunnel to Towers Foundation Show. Now, you know who Hogan is. You've heard from him before on the show. But I wanted to get Hogan on this Sunday morning to talk about some of the excitement that's going on in Mar-a-Lago. Let's start with a little social buzz. Now, Hogan, I understand that you're down there doing a two-step every now and then, like on Thursday night, and that it is it's almost like a convention of Trump future employees. Talk to me about how much fun it is down there.
I'm telling you, everyone's really excited, not just because of the win, but they're excited to get the country back on the right track. You know, I was in the room with a lot of fancy folks last night, Judge, and I was talking to a lot of the
Thursday night,
there from RFK and all those folks here back on Thursday, and it was just fascinating because, you know, it's always so much fun down there and always so exciting. But when you're taking a look at where the country is and where Donald Trump wants to, you know, take it back to, all these record-setting successes, you had a room full of folks who are going to help him do that. Mm-hmm. And the excitement is you can just feel it, but also, as I mentioned, it's just so good that finally the good guys are going to be back in charge to really take this country into a direction where all people can succeed, regardless of race, religion, color, or creed. And those folks in that room last night are going to be a big part of it. So just humbling to be at Mar-a-Lago at that time, and being here over the weekend has been just a blast, of course.
Well, I got to tell you that the luminaries, you know, from Elon Musk to Vivek to Bobby Kennedy, who just this past week, the president announced is going to be the head of Health and Human Services. I'll tell you, Hogan, I mean, I don't know about you. I'm dancing. I've never been happier. This is such a great week. I'm thrilled with all the appointments from, you've got Kristi Noem, Homeland Security, Tom Homan, Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. We've got some great people there. And Sergio Gore, he's going to be in charge of personnel?
Yep, absolutely. Talked to him for a while at Mar-a-Lago, too. So, yeah. Look, I'm telling you, the hand-wringing and the pearl clutching from the left, all these appointments, too, is just comical to me to watch them implode on themselves, kind of watching these picks. But the thing is, Trump wants to move really fast, and he always has. Right, but this
warp speed. It's called warp speed.
Of course, and this time's different because, like with anything in life, hindsight's 20/20, and when you get a chance to do something over again, you know all the pitfalls, you know the problems, you can avoid them, and now he has a team in place that knows how fast he likes to move, who is experienced, who's been around the block a few times. They're ready to go on day one, and so people say the first 100 days are going to be critical. I don't even know if he's going to need 100 days. I think he's going to move so fast.
The first week
with Congress and with the Senate kind of on board with the Make America Great Again, America First policies. I think it's going to be a really shock to the system in a very good way. And all of these appointments are really going to help carry over the finish line the successes. I mean, they're the ones who who understand Trump has kind of a MAGA mandate, if you will, because, you know, he I mean, he won all those swing states. He won the popular vote. And I thought for sure if he won, the Electoral College but didn't win the popular vote, all the Democrats would say,
yeah, they have a fit.
We need it's got to be
the Electoral College gone, right.
But he won them both, so now they have nothing to say. And so I think he's ready to move fast, and he's got some folks around him now who are going to help him get it done quickly.
Well, I got to tell you, and the nomination or the suggestion that Matt Gaetz is going to run Department of Justice. I got to tell you, at first I was like, and then I was like, if anybody, Hogan, is going to shake up the Department of Justice, blow up the Department of Justice, it is Matt Gaetz. I mean, he is a very smart guy. He's a smart attorney. He's an excellent litigator. He says that, like Donald Trump, he's been the victim of the weaponization of the Justice Department. That's going to be an interesting thing to watch. What do you think is going to happen with that one?
It is. And interesting is the right word, because as you know, Judge, the rot in the DOJ is so
terrible.
Deep, it's so gross. You need somebody to go in there and shake it up. But it's not just about destroying some of the norms or the decorum in D.C. or these entities, these agencies. It's about getting stuff done and preventing these, three-letter agencies from attacking American citizens, going after Catholics, going after pro-lifers, going after moms who care about their daughters, with men and women's sports. It's like, whatever you were trying to do to protect your family, the DOJ under the
was
Democrats
after you.
Was going after you.
You of course wouldn't know this, but my first guest on the show today was Ralph Reed, from the Faith and Freedom Coalition, talking about the huge coverage in the swing states that he and the warriors with Faith and Freedom Coalition knocking on doors. But he talked about the same thing. He talked about the war against parents being called domestic terrorists, against religion, and against the very same things that you're talking about. And that was spearheaded from the Department of Justice, which of course is over the FBI. And you're right. The rot is deep, deep, deep. And we have seen them violate their own rules. We have seen them working with different prosecutors to go after Donald Trump. But I got to tell you, I want to segue here for a second. This is a different Donald Trump, isn't it?
Much different. Absolutely. Much different. I mean, again, ready to go on day one. He knows how the town operates now. He knows how to get things accomplished from the executive seat. Whereas before, he had a Congress that wasn't really with him. They weren't sure about Donald Trump. He was trying to figure out cabinet secretaries that were problematic. He didn't have executive orders ready to go on day one. Now he's got all of that knowledge and wisdom that he didn't have the first time as it relates to D.C. I mean, the guy's brilliant, right? He's obviously very successful, but learning D.C. takes some time. Now he knows it. And so this is kind of the extension of that first term where we had all those successes. But now he's going to do it in a way, I think, that lends itself to more permanency. If you're going to make the tax cuts permanent, for example, then the American people are going to feel that for decades. And that puts the Republican Party and puts conservative politicians in a much better place. He built a coalition, the most diverse in history, to elect a Republican president. More support from the black community, from the Asian community, from the Hispanic community, from women. He went up 7 points with women. And so people out there wanted to return to those successes. Donald Trump has that now. In fact, for all the left saying it's, we're so racist, the only group he went down in were whites. He went down 1% with the whites. Every other group, he got more support. So the people know what they wanted. They got it. Donald Trump's going to deliver.
Yeah, he is going to deliver. And I am so excited about Robert Kennedy and the fact that, in this country, people are giving cereal to their kids, which has pesticides and the wrong dyes in them and all kinds of chemicals in them, or even the candy that we use, like my favorite Red Hots, they have that red color in it, and, it's bad. And, Europe won't allow some of the food that we allow in this country. So what does that tell you? what it tells you is the FDA is rotten to the core as well. And do you know what percentage of drugs that are approved by the FDA get recalled within the first 10 years? 33%. So wait a minute. So people have to go through hoops. They have to go through all kinds of tests. They have to wait years. And then they get approval, and only 66% of them are really worth it. 33% get recalled. If that isn't corruption, along with the comparison to Europe and the fact that they have outlawed things that we allow. I mean, the American people have never been on the front burner with some of these politicians and these lobbyists. It's disgusting. And Robert Kennedy, God bless him. I'm so thrilled.
I can't wait. I mean, this is the kind of thinking, though, that has put us into a bad health position for a while in this country. And look, Mike Huckabee used to say all the time, we don't have a health care crisis. We have a health crisis in this country because people are eating all the processed foods, et cetera. And if he can get in there and shed some light, and look, this is one of the big buzzwords, I think, of this administration. It's going to be accountability, and I think it's going to be transparency. These agencies have been operating in a way that have really been a disservice to the American people for a long time. If you peel back that curtain and you get a chance to see what they've been doing to us as opposed to what they've been doing for us, people are going to be shocked, and they're going to be upset. And thankfully, we have people in place now who can actually get to the bottom of it and expose it. And then you got to find out, once you expose it, whose fault is it, and hold those folks accountable. And I think this administration will.
I don't think there's any question but that the administration will do that. And I think that, this different President Trump, I don't want to call him Donald Trump anymore, that this different President Trump, when I saw him sitting with Joe Biden, and he was very relaxed and he was smiling and, he was very real. He said, politics is a tough game, but this is a good day. And it was as though he was looking at Joe Biden, and I just got the sense that he's bigger than all of it. There's no more of this pettiness. And, in spite of the fact that they tried to bankrupt him, that they impeached him, they indicted him, they convicted him, tried to kill him, that the president wasn't angry. He was like, I got a job to do, and I'm going to go do it.
That's right. He said for a long time that his retribution is going to be winning. It's not going to be about going after other people. And he's putting the cabinet together, I think, that can accomplish the things he wants to accomplish. And, it's funny because you talked about Matt Gaetz, for example, and Tulsi Gabbard. Like
Tulsi. Yep.
They're literally the heads of the departments now that came after them. Like Tulsi was put on a terror watch list by the DNI. Now she's going to run it. Matt Gaetz was attacked by the DOJ. Now he's going to be the head of it. Like, these are the kinds of thinking outside the box where Trump says, all right, this isn't about retribution. It's about accomplishing things for the American people. And those that have been the target of so much of the weaponized government, you guys are going to be the ones who help lead the renaissance, if you will, and the restructuring of how our government looks, acts, how it works. And Donald Trump's at the head of that because, look, you said it. They've been after his friends, his family, his coworkers, his colleagues, been after him. I mean, the guy was almost shot once, and actually
he was shot
once. Yeah, he was shot once and almost shot a second time. And now he's the president of the United States, and he puts all of these amazing people in place. I'm just telling you, when you have a chance to be successful and build a coalition like never before, if we don't do that this time, then shame on us. But I tell you, with a leader like Donald Trump, I am very confident that's exactly what's going to happen.
I am very confident as well, Hogan Gidley. It's a happy time. Everyone is now saying to me, how do I get to the inauguration? What do I do? Where do I go? It's like, everyone is reaching out. I'm going to tell you a cute story. I think my listeners might appreciate this. The day after the election, it was Wednesday. We found out Wednesday morning, what was it, about 2 a.m, that the president won? Right. Yeah. So, I have a gardener, and he came to my house with 3 of his men. It was so funny. And I was like, hi. And he said to me, we want to thank you for fighting for the president. And you know what they bought me? And they actually put it up. I have an American flag in my front yard. And the flag was, it was a little tattered. So they took it down and put up a new flag. I mean, it's like this is going straight through the heart of hardworking Americans who just want freedom. They want the ability to be safe. They want their families protected. They want to be able to buy a dozen eggs and some bacon without having to look at the price and put it on their credit cards. I mean, I could burst. I'm so excited. So it was a happy day.
Look, you've been fighting this stuff too for a long time. In the last 4 years, the juxtaposition that was so jarring of where we were with record-setting success just 4 short years ago. And remember, we used to have to point back to Reagan. I mean, and be like, wow, look how good it was in the 80s. Mm-hmm. This guy had things humming along just 4 years ago. And I really think that's a large part of why he won, is because Democrats are just so bad at this. And they went from being able to afford gas and groceries to all of a sudden, like you said, put it on credit cards, for heaven's sake. And they realized they don't have to live that way. They don't have to do that. That's why you saw such a massive surge of support for Donald Trump and his policies, because they remember just a few short years ago how good they had it and how much the failures of the Biden-Harris administration were kicking us in the teeth for the last 4 years, and they wanted to return to it. So they got it, and we're going to get some good points on the board here.
Yeah, they got it, and they're going to get it. They're going to get what they want. And Hogan Gidley, say hi to everybody down there and just keep dancing, because it's a happy day in America. Love you. Thank you so much for joining us. Hogan Gidley, everyone. All right. Take care. And never forget, that's a commitment we made on 9/11. Honor it by donating $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation at t2t.org. That's T2T.org. And up next here on the Judge Jeanine Tunnel to Towers Foundation show, I will gavel out with my closing argument. It's all coming up here on the Red Apple Audio Network.
This is the Judge Jeanine Show.